Greetings everyone, and welcome to another YouTube video about Blocksworld basics. Well, a Blocksworld video in general. And today we're going to go over this little fella. Actually he doesn't have a specific name, but I'll just call him the Master Block. And what does it do? Well, judging by the way it looks, it basically controls the details of your world. You can see the details on the right here, and the fact that it has a little island in the center right there, so it looks like it's meant for worldly control. So, in PC, it gets two of these little things up here, and I think Pocket Edition can, or mobile I mean, can do that as well. It just doesn't have it up here. It's kind of weird. But we're going to go over everything here as well as a more special section. But we're going to start from the top to bottom, and this is all that it can do. The first thing that this thing does is that sky angle is kind of useful in case you're trying to like position your sun. Basically, it just changes the direction your sun is flying. Excuse me, pointing. It doesn't just do the sun, it does the entire sky, so you can kind of adjust things, but it's not too powerful, but it's quite useful. Also, just a fun little bonus, if you see this little symbol, that means you can work with it. So for example, if you have this, notice that, sorry, I meant to say was that, let's try to find an example. On play. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have that at all. Mostly because it's in this side. I think that'll just be for another video. The next thing that it can do is sun power. This can go from really bright sun, like that's really bright. Although I don't think it really works on mobile. It never works for me. And obviously the further down it goes, the darker it gets. This is as dark as it can be. Don't worry, it actually does it. It's very dim. There isn't pitch darkness, but it's very dim. These are controlling the water levels. But the thing is that there's two different types of water levels, and that's the water block and the water, like, oceans over here. These are completely different things, so this doesn't count. This one just makes it go up. This one goes up in, like, steps. This is how far up it can go. Like, you can control its limit. So let's say this is the height limit, and we put it up to fill, and play it. It keeps filling, and it keeps filling up, and stops at that area. That's basically what it does. And minimal is just the opposite. It basically goes down, and then stops at the bottom. Drain is pretty self-explanatory. It drains it away. What this is that you can control what it's like. Water is water. If it's magma, actually, you can barely tell the difference with some things, but basically, the more... As you can tell, it goes from jelly to mud to air to swamp to water and over again. And I think that that if you go to jelly, it's like really bouncy. Like it literally bounces it. If it's mud, it's extremely dense. Watch that Blockster back there. If it's air, they just fall right through like it's nothing. Sorry. But swamp is just even more dense. And that's basically it for that. Let's get rid of him. Quake is just an earthquake. You can even control how strong it's going to be. Like it can be very strong. So if you have any worlds where you want to have an earthquake, you can do that. And you can even control its strength. Shaking for the camera version is basically just doing it for your camera. It shakes your camera, but it doesn't shake anything in the world. Two completely different things. This is just the direction of breeze. As you can see, it doesn't really do much. Except, I actually never worked with this before, but other than that, this doesn't really do anything. But I believe that if you do something like leaves, watch it, it's not doing anything. Oh well. Wait. It's leaving me hanging. The leaves are moving in the direction that the breeze I put in. So I guess it's pretty cool, but other than that, it's not too special. Remove these. This is just dry leaves. These are basically the same thing. Clear is just clear skies. Ash is, well, ash. You can slowly start stacking up. You can use this for like any worlds that have a volcano in the area. Like you have a volcano in the background, you can just put this in, so realistic. There's a lot of control. It looks very limited, but there's a lot of things you can do. Meteors is Well, just meteors. Just little rocks falling out of the sky. That's all it basically is. Rain is just a little bit of rain. And it's actually quite a bit, so it's kind of light. It's not like a rainstorm. Sand is just a sandstorm, and also determined by the color of the sky, it's how the color of the sandstorm is going to be. And for in the mobile version, it makes it much more foggy, but it doesn't apply here because it's PC. Snow is just like rain, except it's snowing, and just goes little white dots, slowly falling. Tilting gravity, I don't think I can even do it on here. I guess I can't do it because I. Whoa, whoa. Huh. I don't know how this would work on PC edition, but it does, I guess. Oh, sorry. Just back out. These is just basically controlling the movements. No movement is basically how you can't move it. So if it's no move all, you cannot move it. Like it can rotate, but it can't move. It's stuck in place. If you change it to this axis, it can only move in that part of the axis. So like I can't pull it this way or that way, but I can pull it up and down. If it's this axis, I can pull it all these directions, but I can't pull it up or down. And if it's this axis, it's just, I can only move it this way. Pretty basic. And free move is kind of the same thing, except it's a bit of the opposite. And turning is pretty obvious. Basically, it just doesn't allow turning. I can move it, but it doesn't rotate ever. And if I do it this way, I can rotate it, but I can't rotate it the other way. It's kind of weird, but it's pretty basic. Basic. I think that's all the details for that, but there's an extra that I have. So if you get a certain model, which I think I'll go ahead and sell later, excuse me, there are these settings. Actually, we already seen these, so these don't count. But these are completely new settings. Fog density is just controlling the density of fog. If it's 100, it literally covers everything. While 0, no fog at all, and the only limit is the render distance the game has. So fog density can make your worlds a little bit more spooky, or, you know, stuff like that. And apparently it sticks that. Oh, wait, never mind. These two are the real meat, or at least something that can make things fun. This is controlling gravity, and Moon doesn't say much, but then it changes to Mars, to Earth, to default, Jupiter, big planet, dwarf star, and then there's no gravity. It goes to Pluto, and goes back around again. So what this basically means in a nutshell is that the Moon has weak gravity. Very weak gravity. If you change it to Mars, it's just slightly stronger if I pull it up more. And if you go to Earth, it's just a little bit more strong. And default is, well, default. Jupiter is a lot stronger, pulls down a lot faster. Big planet is way stronger. And the strongest of all is the dwarf star. This one is really strong. Like it pulls, it's like like an overpowered magnet. And then it goes all the way back to no gravity. And that's pretty obvious. It just flies off. It would continue flying off, but it doesn't. It just slows down. It goes to Pluto, which is just very light. Now, if we go all the way around, it rotates in one direction. You can't go back. If you have no gravity, if you pay attention, watch it go, it stops spinning in the air as well as starts to slow down just a little bit. And if you don't want that, you can remove that too. This is air. You can change it to Earth, Titan, thick air, water, Venus, or no air at all. And it can basically go around. It flips around easily. Thin air is, we already saw that. Earth, much more thick. Titan, very thick air. It stops like right there. Thick air is, thick air, very thick, very resistant. Water is like basically the resistance of water. It's basically how it is like in water. Venus is the strongest, and it just doesn't. It is just so hard to move things with it. And no air, free movement. Look at it spin. You can spin everything. If you ever have those things where you want your objects to rotate really easy in the air, just put it to no air. And I'll sell this model, and it should be cost like around 60 coins. Not too much, at least by certain standards. But that's all I have to show you. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.